why am I qualified to say or have an opinion on this? It's been 24 years for me, and has not been a bad ride. I've had my moments. So let me know, man. What questions do you have, Hector?
All right, first question I have for you, man, is as a comic that's been in the game for about 9 months, what advice do you have for a comic like myself, I guess, to maneuver through the open mic scene?
What should you do to maneuver through the open mic scene?
Yeah. How should I maneuver through the open mic scene?
How should you maneuver through the open mic scene?
How should I treat the open mic scene?
Listen, why are you even worried about the open mic scene? This is the first thing I'm going to tell you. Forget about the open mic scene. What is your scene? We take so much time in caring about other things around us. We carry so much gossip. The reason people gather is just to brag or gossip.
Okay.
That's what we really do. We brag or gossip when we get together. If you are going there to perform for a show, you understand there's a headliner, a feature, and an opener, and that's an improv. That's just strictly a show. People that are there, they're going to perform, and they're the actors on the show.
Okay.
So you're going there to work, but when you go to an open mic, really, if you preoccupy your time instead of writing, instead of collaborating, instead of building, instead of producing, instead of creating, and you start using that time to bicker and fight for little things or oh, they didn't give me a spot here, or they didn't give me a spot there. Those are things that are petty. And I tell you because I spend time doing those things. And I wish I didn't. I wish I didn't spend so many years being petty for stupid things that I shouldn't have worried about. And you get caught up on that. You know why? Because it's easier for me to justify my shortcomings because of the reason of other people.
Okay.
I didn't get where I needed to be because that guy never gave me a spot, or that he never lets me go up on his show. He never did. Forget about that. Just write and keep asking people to perform. Can I perform for you? And when you're funny, it's not hard to say yes.
Okay.
When you're hilarious, it is not hard to say yes. Please be on my show. I would love to.
So ask people to be on.
Ask.
Man, I've heard different from a lot of other people. A lot of people tell me, do not ask, do not bother. If you're good, they'll come to you. What do you have to say to that?
Okay, do not ask. If you're good, they'll come to you. Those are managers and agents. The other comedians, that's the whole point. We network. We have to interact with each other. That is how we produce work. One day I'm working, the other night he's working, and we're giving each other tips. We're giving each other information on other bookers. But you have to be out there networking, and you have to ask. Now, the key here is do not get mad if they don't book you. You ask. Don't take it personal. The problem is we'll ask. We take it personal. Now we don't talk to this guy because he didn't book me. It is not his obligation to book you.
Okay.
That is not his obligation. His obligation is his career. You worry about your career. Now, if he gives you an opportunity, make sure you're ready to rock that stage and bring down the house. That's all you have. That's your calling card. Rock it. Focus on that. But don't get caught up on this drama or how I should treat an open mic. An open mic is a stepping stone. That is it. Utilize it for what it is. The reason you're doing an open mic is because you want to overcome that fear. And if you already overcame that fear, then start writing and start doing live streams. Because more people are watching me here. There's 8 people watching me here. I bet you there's an open mic with 4 people.
Yeah, dude.
At least these 4 people are watching me. And they know that they can see me April 11th at the stand-up and Bellflower. Or you can also see me at the Ontario Improv on the 30th. I'll be performing there too. Hector will be there too. So we'll see you there.
All right.
So does that answer your question in a long way?
Yeah. So, I mean, treat an open mic as a stepping stone.
Exactly. And respect everybody. Just listen, it is what it is. You get there, they didn't give you a spot, you ask. That's it. That's all I'm asking you to ask.
Okay.
And also, don't take it personal.
All right.
They didn't give me a spot. Oh, well, it's just a spot. They didn't let me work for free.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
It's not like you're losing any work. It's just so.
Now, Now, when it comes to asking for spots and talking to these, I guess people, these producers that throw shows or just networking with other people, when is the perfect time to ask? When do you? I guess what I'm asking is when do you know you're ready, or like to ask and I guess be on someone's show?
That's up to you. That's up to you. I don't know when you feel you're funny,
Okay.
but there has to be a moment where you have control of that audience. Meaning, there's moments on stage where I know I can't do any wrong. If I go, the audience is gonna lose it. I know, I've been there. I've done it before, where I have the audience just there. They're not going anywhere, and I take my sweet time with them.
Okay.
Why? Because now I know how to manipulate that audience in a good way, meaning I want them to laugh. I create a cadence for my jokes, and they just automatically start laughing at that cadence. Even though you don't think it's a rhythm in there, it's a rhythm and you're creating it. And it could be with laughter or punchlines, but you create a rhythm. So at the end of the day, it's a personal thing where you feel that you're ready. I will tell you this. If you go and you bite more than you can chew, you will close more doors than you can open. What do I mean by that? You go and you tell somebody, no, I'm ready. I want to open up for you. And they give you that opportunity and you bomb, that door is not going to open for a lot of years. Okay? A lot of years.
Okay.
So be very careful. And the reason I'm telling you this is I went through this. At the Hollywood Improv, I remember I was 3 years into comedy, and I got the opportunity to start hosting the refried shows on Friday nights. That's a huge stage. At that moment, everybody was stopping in. It was mayhem, bro. Any comic that was anybody was stopping in at the Hollywood Improv. It was one of the biggest shows on Friday nights, and everybody would stop by. But with that also, I got a lot of exposure. A lot of people saw me on that stage at a very young age in comedy. And so when they saw me, what they saw wasn't to par with what the other comedians were doing at that moment on that stage.
Yeah.
I had no business on that stage.
Okay.
And so what that said is a precedent to everything. Everybody now just categorized me as a Latino comic that mixes his English with Spanish. And that's it. And they put me in this little box, and they put me in the corner for 10 years. And I did the refresh show, and they were sold out. The shows were a success, bro. That's the thing. It didn't matter how successful the show was. The show was the star. I wasn't the star. I was just the guy producing the show. But at the end of the day, the show was the star. And everybody went for refried. And people remember, oh, you're the refried guy. You're the refried comedy guy. Oh, you do the refried comedy. Yeah, you're that guy. They didn't know my name, but they knew the name of the show.
Okay.
So what ended up happening was Rita and a lot of people just took that perception of me and said, oh, that's the comic and that's his limitations. That's how as good as he is. Not there yet. And that's it. Doors closed left and right early in my career because of that reason. But I also was getting so much exposure that a lot of my successes that I was having, like getting on movies and getting on TV shows, was because of that stage. So, it benefited me and it really damaged me at the same time. Years later, the reason I know this is years later, I had a conversation with Rita, and she saw me 8 years later, and she said, oh my God, you're hilarious.
For those who don't know who Rita is, can you just give us a quick...
Rita, she's the booker at the Hollywood Improv.
Okay.
But she's like, dude, you're great. You're great on stage. And that's the problem, is people get a perception. Not her fault, you understand? She just goes based on what she sees. And she's so busy seeing so many comedians that if you do have an opportunity to be in front of a person like Rita, you got to really be ready. You really got to be ready, because who knows when you're going to get a second chance where she has the time to even sit down and see you, because she's being pulled 100 ways. So for her to tell me, wow, you're great. Oh my God, I hadn't seen you in years. that let me know everything. The reason I wasn't considered for these things because they already had a perception of who I was, and I closed those doors. But with time and being exposed to so many people, my comedy grew. I became better, and those opportunities did end up coming my way.